you can sort of sometimes slide through one of the phases and not even realize it. And then for some people, they don't even get to the fourth phase. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can follow the journey. Today we're diving into the topic of culture shock. Many travelers, expats, and international students will have experienced at some point of the journey. Now, culture shock is not going to be the same for everyone. There are four main phases, but I just want to start off with saying that not each phase is going to be something that everyone gets to experience. What do I mean by this? Well, in the four phases, you can sort of sometimes slide through one of the phases and not even realize it. And then for some people, they don't even get to the fourth phase. Culture shock happens to you when you move to a new country. Suddenly, you find yourself in a place with unfamiliar customs, language, food, and ways of doing things. It can be exciting at first, and then it also can be a little confusing and stressful. Most people will go through four stages of culture shock. So let's break them down. At first, everything feels new, exciting. You love the food, the people, the atmosphere, the culture, maybe their customs, traditions you're finding out about. And you're fascinated with how different everything is. It's an adventure. It's fun, exciting. Sometimes you'll also face challenges, and new things will crop up. But because it's so exciting, you're enjoying the journey so much, it doesn't kind of phase you. You're you're just like a kid in a candy store, and everything just seems so enthralling. In the frustration phase, your initial excitement wanes. Um, Things become a little bit more challenging. There are little irritations, little hiccups that can occur. You might even start to get a little frustrated or annoyed with things. Maybe you're even feeling a little homesick. Maybe you're also starting to feel a little bit confused. You're doing things like you would back home, like inviting people to have coffee or inviting people to come over for dinner, and everything's great. You're having a wonderful time, and yet that's not reciprocated. Then there's also the differences with communication style. When you're in your home country, you know how to communicate. You know the social cues that happen when somebody's maybe not interested or just trying to be polite. You already know how to read the situation without being told what's happening. And that's where, in the new culture, you're not able to pick up on those cues. Or maybe you think you're picking up on those cues, but it's not the same as back home. You're starting to realize like it's not as easy as you first thought. And there are some challenges, especially when there's, say, language barriers and you're really keen on communicating with other people. And you find yourself not able to communicate beyond the basics, and you're wanting to have that deeper connection. And with communication, whether it's a part of learning a new language, along comes misunderstandings. Now, maybe that's a language misunderstanding, like you meant to say one thing and in the language you said another thing, or maybe it's just the style of communication that you have and that your culture has that the new culture has a little bit of difference with. Along with those feelings of frustration, often this can lead to quite a shocking or jarring experience for the person. And you can start to feel a little bit lonely. You might be in a crowd of people, in a room of people, you might be socializing, but you feel very much alone. I really want to say just be very kind to yourself if you're going through this phase, because it is a normal part of the process. And if you start judging yourself or judging others and sort of dwelling on that negativity, it's not going to help you in this phase or getting out of this phase. Now you're beginning to figure things out. You're learning the language, you're understanding the social rules and cues. You start to feel more comfortable. You're maybe even establishing some patterns, some routines in your life where you're able to sort of like adjust and navigate, even though you're not quite there yet. Life feels a little bit more normal again. And this is a great phase to be in because there's growth, there's movement. You're not stuck in negativity. You're learning how to cope and deal with the situation as you're going through it. If you'll do any reading up on culture shock, you'll also see it called the adaptation phase. It's a really good phase to sort of be coming to, especially if you've had a very deep frustration phase. And you're finding ways to cope and adjust to things as they occur, or you're coming to terms with the way that the culture is. Finally, you accept and adapt to the new culture. You're no longer just surviving, you're thriving. You might even feel at home now. And now you're at the acceptance phase. In this phase, you're reaching a level of acceptance. Acceptance of the traditions, the cultures, the way of life in the new culture, as well as it not necessarily being the same as your culture. Starting to feel a little bit more confident and comfortable within different situations. You're navigating social situations. You're understanding social cues. Communication in general is just getting better for you. And hopefully, too, if you're learning a language, you're gaining confidence in being able to speak and communicate within that language. It's not as jarring anymore. You're starting to recognize whether it's words, phrases, questions. You feel a sense of being able to handle and function in both cultures. And finally, you accept and adapt to your new culture. You're no longer just surviving, but you're actually thriving. You might even start to feel at home. Remember, a culture shock is a normal part of moving abroad, and it gets better with time and effort. Have you ever experienced culture shock before? If so, please share your story and experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. What happens when you return back home? Well, I'll be talking about that in the next video. So join me next time for reverse culture shock, what that's about and how to deal with it.